All right, guys, welcome back to the final segment of our show tonight. And we're going to be doing top 5 wide receivers in the NFL currently. We just did the top 5 quarterbacks, and I will probably do top 5 running backs in tomorrow's show too. So definitely look out for that as well. But let's dive right into our top 5 wide receivers that I have. Number 5 on this list is a young guy who was a rookie last year, and that is Malik Nabers from the Giants. And especially with the addition of Russell Wilson as the quarterback that we just learned right before we got on the show, I think that'll make him an even better even better wide receiver this year, because, that's the one thing that's good about Russell Wilson is that he can hit the deep ball, and Malik Nabers can go get the deep ball for sure. And especially if they add a guy like, say, Travis Hunter, and that could absolutely take some more pressure off of Malik Nabers, and they could end up being a really, really good wide receiver duo going forward. I really like Malik Nabers. Take a look at his numbers last year for a rookie. Even for just a regular, wide receiver, rookie or not, those are still really, really good numbers. But his numbers, he had 109 catches, 1,204 yards, and 7 touchdowns. That's good for an 11 yards per catch average. So he was very, very good, very productive on a team that was starving of a quarterback all year long. Daniel Jones started the season, obviously got benched, ultimately was kicked out of New York and moved on to Minnesota before ultimately signing with the Colts in the offseason. But then they had Tommy DeVito, who ran the show for a number of games, as well as Drew Lock as well. So they didn't necessarily have the greatest quarterback play. They will have better quarterback play this year, just with the addition of Russell Wilson. By default, they will have better quarterback play. So with better quarterback play, hopefully they'll also have better offensive line play, which can keep Russell Wilson upright, and then he can find those receivers downfield. Malik Nabers is a very talented young receiver, and he can be one of the greats going forward. I think he's very, very good, and he's rightfully so right at number 5, in my opinion. Number 4 is a guy who also plays in New York, but he plays for the other New Jersey team, and that is Garrett Wilson of the Jets. He is fantastic. I mean, some of the catches that this guy makes are just unreal. The one really, really famous one from last year, the Jordan brand catches, what I've heard a lot of people call it, where he just sticks his arm out, and just is like leaning back, somehow just makes the catch with one hand, and it looks like he's posing like the Jordan brand logo, and it's, it was a tremendous catch, and he's a very, very good receiver. He's another guy that hasn't had very good quarterback play in his career, yet is still as good of a receiver as he is. So just imagine how he will be, with a good quarterback. Justin Fields, I think, is a good fit in New York, with Garrett Wilson, reteaming with his former college teammate in Justin Fields. I think that's going to be a pretty good match for them, because the Jets are going to let Justin Fields be himself in terms of being able to run the ball, and that'll open up more things throwing the ball, which is one thing that I wish they would have done in Pittsburgh when Justin Fields was there. But they kind of just made him play safe. I don't think he's going to be safe. He might be more conservative from things that he might have picked up last year in Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to be as reckless with the ball as he was, say, in Chicago. But they're going to be able to let him do more. So I think Garrett Wilson will have more opportunities to be effective overall. So I think that's a good pairing for those two. And he had 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns last year, despite not playing for a great quarterback last year. So, and of course he's put up good numbers with Zach Wilson at quarterback, and with all the other guys at quarterback that they've ran through under Robert Saleh, and I guess now it's Aaron Glenn as the head coach there. So Garrett Wilson, number 4. Moving on to number 3, I have CeeDee Lamb from the Cowboys. I think he is another guy that has gotten a little bit of slack because he hasn't had the greatest quarterback situation either. Not that Dak isn't a good quarterback, but Dak has had injuries, and so CeeDee Lamb has had to play with Cooper Rush a lot. And last year, CeeDee Lamb played with Cooper Rush a few times, and he had 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns with Cooper Rush. So, he is another guy that if he can just get consistent, steady, quality, good quarterback play, he can boost those numbers up to the top two guys that I have on this list. As I'm sure you guys can probably guess who the top two on the wide receivers list is, because both of those guys, they put up ridiculous numbers every year. But CeeDee Lamb is a very good receiver. Very, he hasn't really been looked at as like your top 5 or top 3 receiver, I think, even though I think that he is that. But just being on the Cowboys and having the Cowboys struggle like they have the past few years has maybe, not shine as much of a light on CeeDee Lamb as it should be because of how good he is. But I don't know. I think he is up there as top 3 as a wide receiver. His pure ability and his ability to run crisp routes, make good catches, his ability to separate from the defender. He's a very, very good wide receiver, and that's why he is at number 3 for me. So getting down to the top 2 receivers in this entire league, and I don't think either of these will be a surprise. You can make the argument for either one of these guys being the best receiver in the league, but at number 2, I have Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, fantastic receiver. Like I said, you can make the argument that he's the best receiver in the league. It's a close one between him and my number 1 guy here. But Justin Jefferson last year, 103 receptions, 1,500 yards receiving, and 10 touchdowns. He was second in the league in those categories to just Jamar Chase. But he was fantastic last year, and he's been fantastic for Minnesota. And he was one of the reasons why Sam Darnold is making as much money as he's making in Seattle. Because if it's not for Justin Jefferson being as good as he is, maybe Sam Darnold doesn't have the numbers that he has. Because not only can Justin Jefferson make all kinds of ridiculous catches, but he can take pressure off of other receivers, like, say, Jordan Addison, the other quality receiver that they have in Minnesota. Some pressure would be more, hinted towards Justin Jefferson, and that would give Addison more opportunities, and Hawkinson if they want to go tight end route, But Justin Jefferson is definitely one of the best, if not the best receiver in all of football. And he has proven that. And the only thing that he's really missing at this point is a Super Bowl, because he's just that good. He's, had the record, or had, the receiving yards record, in terms of leading the league in receiving. He's done that before multiple times. So at this point, I'm sure he's looking at trying to get a Super Bowl, since he got his nice big contract a couple off seasons ago. So this focus now should just be only on the Super Bowl. And they have a rookie quarterback this year, so we'll see if his numbers take a little bit of a dip or a little bit of a hit, depending on how good J.J. McCarthy ends up being. We don't know yet because we haven't seen anything from him in terms of playing in a real NFL game, not a preseason one. He did play in the preseason before he ended up getting hurt. Torn meniscus it was for J.J. McCarthy. I was corrected on that because I said torn ACL before, but I think it was a torn meniscus actually. So apologize for the mix-up there. But, they've got J.J. McCarthy now, so we'll see if he is ready to be a starter. Only time will tell with him. He's got to go out there and he's got to take some hits and get used to playing in the league at, as fast of a pace as the league plays at. So Justin Jefferson might suffer. Justin Jefferson might help J.J. McCarthy be a better quarterback. It certainly wouldn't hurt, having a guy like that. So the other guy that I have on this list is Justin Jefferson's college teammate, and that is Jamar Chase, who I have at number 1. It goes without saying that he is the best receiver in the league. Last year, he was the best receiver in the league, period. He won the Triple Crown, which is leading in all categories, which is receptions with 127, yards with 1,708 yards, and 17 touchdowns. So that led the league in each and every one of those categories. So Jamar Chase, best receiver in the league, and I don't think it's an argument. I mean, like I said, maybe you can say Justin Jefferson, but Jamar Chase, I think, just is right now is the better receiver. He certainly was a better receiver last year. The numbers prove that, with 7 more touchdowns than Justin Jefferson had. But of course, you could also say Jamar Chase had Joe Burrow throwing the ball to him, and that offense was more talented than the Minnesota Vikings offense was. And that is true. But the Vikings also have a good defense to, help that offense out. So those numbers can get kind of skewed, whereas Jamar Chase with the Bengals, they don't have a very good defense, so they have to put up these numbers. Jamar Chase has to be this good, and luckily he is. And they were able to put up a lot of points, although it wasn't enough as they weren't able to make the playoffs. But if their defense can shore up, Jamar Chase could end up winning himself a Super Bowl MVP and not just a Triple Crown if he performs well in the Super Bowl. He's already played in the Super Bowl, but wasn't able to win it against the Rams. But I think with that trio of offense, they're always going to have that window open as to if they can win a Super Bowl. It's just mainly going to depend on their defense. That offense is always going to be good. So we'll see what happens. But those are my 5. Again, I'll just go through them again. Malik Neighbors of the Giants. Garrett Wilson of the Jets at number 4. Number 3, I have CeeDee Lamb of the Cowboys. Number 2, I have Justin Jefferson of Minnesota. And then number 1, I have Jamar Chase of Cincinnati. So that is my top 5. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed the show overall. This is the end of the show, so unfortunately you don't get to see my beautiful face anymore until tomorrow. So I appreciate everybody joining and watching this show. Going out of here, I just want to let you guys know we are always sponsored by GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference, and we also invite you to follow us on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, or X, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on the GSMC Football Podcast. All right, guys, you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to